Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to do hence. So I really wanted, or I could say, she really wants a gaming console that summer, last summer. Hence, she worked full-time at a day camp in order to accomplish her goal. So a couple things here. You're probably going to want to add a sentence here, right? You're probably going to want to add, it's the who, what, where, when, why, and how, right? It's, the 5 W's and 1 H. When? Like, when specifically did she accomplish her goal? So what's implied? So what is implied is that she did get the console by the end of the summer, right? It's not clear. It's not super clear. It's not super explicit that she got the console by the end of the summer, but it's pretty clear that she got it by the end of the summer. What could make it clearer would be if we added, you know, um, you know, to accomplish her goal, on July 7th, you know, so you normally don't want to say, like you don't want to say last summer again. So you could say, on July 7th, and then, just the actual last summer's year. 7th, 2000, blah, blah, of last year. She walked into, and also a lot of the she's, right? So let's just say it's Laura. She walked into a Walmart and purchased. So what do you want to write here? Do you want to write, a console? No, you want to be as specific as possible. Here's where you want to be really specific. You could say, an Xbox One, or you could say, you could say a whole bunch of stuff. You could say a PS4. You could just say, a brand new, right, Xbox One. And also, like, why does brand new help? Because it clarifies the gaming console. So she wanted a gaming console, and so what might the question be? So what question might the reader ask here, right? What kind, right? New or used, right? Those are the obvious ones, right? And then did she accomplish her goal? So you want to sort of answer those questions, the obvious questions that the reader might ask by the time you get to the next sentence or next few sentences. So, here, hence, is like saying therefore, or because of this, right? Because of this. You could also delete hence. You could say working, working full-time at a camp or accomplish your goal. But one reason why hence is good is it clearly illustrates sort of cause effect. She wanted a gaming console last summer, therefore, because of this, hence she worked. So this could be hence, therefore, because of this. So there are a lot of ways to write this, but this is now if you left this. So why would you say a brand new? Because you're answering an obvious question that the reader might be asking. Well, like what kind of console and da da da. And there's also sort of experiential, sort of a visual that a reader might have. If you just said purchased an Xbox One, it just feels good. It feels fine, but it feels a little bit elementary, right? It feels like it might need a little bit more. And that's why like reading a lot helps with writing, because you just know that it just tends to feel better, like a salient detail, and of course we know that Walmart only sells brand new products, but what does this word brand new mean to the sentence? Well, it means that you can almost hear her having a conversation with her girlfriends or with her parents or with her husband or whoever, right? With her partner. Um, just the excitement in her voice because she's now got a brand new Xbox One. Also, we're sort of throwing that added flourish because it adds specificity and it creates sort of the full three-dimensional mood and the texture of what's happening, right? So like you don't want to go overboard and say a brand new, gold-plated, six, you know, um, special edition, Xbox One with 4 controllers and and a blah 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 subscription or whatever, because that's just it. It fits if you're trying to go for that, where there's trying to be some humor that you're trying to sort of create with that descriptiveness. But if you're just trying to have sort of a perfunctory or a functional sentence that is, or sequence of sentences that's quality, but that's not going overboard with the sort of descriptiveness or the description, then you just want to maybe add 1 or 2 adjectives, or 1 or 2 descriptors. So purchased a brand new Xbox One, which is good. You're giving just the amount of information, give just enough info to be clear, but also to be interesting, and also to make the reader work a little bit. That is so crucial. You still want to make the reader work a little bit, because if you over communicate, that's when it gets to be a little bit much. So we're going to go over in a lot of these videos like how to keep that balance, and it all depends on the venue, right? Like everything depends on the venue, right? It depends on, is this an academic essay? How long is the essay supposed to be? Is this an editorial? How long is the editorial supposed to be? Is this a literary? I mean, like what exactly is it? An email? Like what exactly is the venue? So I think the venue is really important. Like what kind of writing, are you doing? So very important. Hopefully this is helpful, and hopefully this helps in terms of hence. We can also do another example. I love reading, hence it delights me to wake up each day and walk, and be among, hundreds of books on my bookshelves, at home. Okay, so because of this, right? Because of this, or therefore, they're all very synonymous, right? Hence, therefore, because of this. I love reading, hence it delights me to wake up each day and be among hundreds of books on my bookshelves at home. Okay, good. Or for the technologically savvy, on my Kindle. Be among hundreds of books on my Kindle. This actually might be thousands on the Kindle, but yeah, I mean, so you kind of get the, how sort of like how this works. So yeah, so hopefully this is helpful. This is sort of extraneous, but it really sort of clamps down and answers the obvious questions. So that's why it's helpful. Where did she buy the console, etc. The other thing you could say is here, unfortunately, well, she wouldn't fall a bit short. You could say she fell a bit short because, she had to buy a new car that summer as well. Now, of course, you don't want to say hence again, right? And like you don't want to say because of this or even therefore, because these types of connector words, you don't want to use them so close together. So if I used hence, I probably would not use therefore because of this in the same paragraph. Maybe even a few paragraphs. Like I would definitely spread them out pretty wide. So you could say something like that summer as well, which took precedence, right? So you're answering that question. Well, I mean, this clarifies, right, which took precedence. You don't have to say it, but it makes it super clear. Buying a car takes precedence to buying a gaming console. She was, however, and you notice that these are all different, like hence, unfortunately, semicolon, however, like that they're still different, so you can use them, and they don't seem too unwieldy, and it doesn't seem boring because you're varying sort of the sentence structure, you're varying this, you're varying the sentence length, and you're obviously varying the word choice. So let's just say we omitted able. She was able to buy, an Xbox One, a brand new Xbox One, from, Amazon. In September. Right? So you could say last September, but if you said that September, it makes sense because we're talking about the, last year. So I think that September fits here a little bit more. Because you're not saying last summer, last September, last April. So that September. Is this enough? She was able to buy a brand new Xbox One from Amazon that September. No, it's not enough. It's not quite enough. You could say instead, right? Instead of this time period of during the summer, right? Instead of the summer, or you could say however, right? Which is the other, which is kind of like instead. And it's a lot of practice, but it doesn't things sound clearer, sound better. Again, the more you read, the more you write, the more you practice. But yeah, so Laura really wanted a gaming console last summer. Hence, she worked full-time at a day camp in order to accomplish her goal. Unfortunately, she fell a bit short because she had to buy a new car that summer as well, uh, which took precedence. Um, however, she was, however, able to buy a brand new Xbox One from Amazon. That's what if you erased that summer? That's actually excellent. See, omitting that summer, I actually think it's sort of addition by subtraction. So you subtract that short phrase, and again, you're making the reader work a little bit. You've got to make the reader work a little bit, right? Just a teeny bit. So you want to just write just enough info to where it sounds good, it sounds clear, but they're still working a little bit. She had to buy a new car as well, which took precedence. So here, this sentence right here, we have already been introduced to the fact that she wants a console last summer. So now we know, like the next sentence, we're probably talking about the summer, unless we clearly demarcate that time period as like moving forward or back. But so when we say unfortunately she fell a bit short because she had to buy a new car as well, which took precedence. So it's the implication is still clear. So what is also implied, and that she bought the new car last summer, right? Like that was the season when she bought the new car. You don't have to like repeat that. So, and then she was, however, able to buy a brand new Xbox. I mean, you could put a period here. It's a little bit unwieldy, I think. With the semicolon, it's super confident, but I think it might be a little. Some writers might think it's a little bit onerous or a little bit aggressive. But I just think that you've got hence comma, unfortunately comma, she was comma, however comma. So we're a little bit aggressive in our grammar, in our in these connective words and connective phrases, these contrasting words and phrases. So I think that it sort of fits with the style that that even though this is only within 3 sentences, that we have commas and hence and unfortunately and however and a semicolon. I mean, it just fits. Now, a different writer might not write this way. Like this might be a little bit aggressive, and in fact, I think most writers wouldn't write like this throughout an entire essay or an entire article. That gets really unwieldy quickly. However, if you mix it up and you've got some places where you include this type of sort of more aggressive, sort of making stronger leaps, connective leaps, and logic leaps in short bursts, these few sentences. If you can spread that out, I think that it can become very effective, very, very effective, because you can cover a lot of ground fast. You don't have to write like 7 sentences to describe this. So I think this is not too shabby, and hopefully you learned a little bit. I'm going to also change this or highlight this. So hopefully you guys see the value in this. Thanks a lot.